Controlling your spiritual abilities sounds like it is something that is very difficult to do. I mean, who are we to control the other side, to control something that you may or may not be able to see, depending on your ability? However, just as at times we're strapped and we need that $20 to magically appear, some way, somehow, $20 shows up, whether it's in physical cash or just in your bank account or just a gift card that you found lying around that you didn't know you had. Everything is about intent. And when we take control, we are taking control over what happens to us. We are putting the intent of what we need into the universe so that way it comes back and we actually receive what we're looking for. So controlling spirits is the same way. If you have abilities, and we're all born with them, but they do tend to shut down because we start thinking. And when we start thinking, left brain kicks in and shuts them out. The communication and abilities is right brained. So depending on who you are as a person and how logical you are, depends on if that ability will stay open or not as you continue to grow and go to grade school and continue down your path. So for some of us, obviously, does not turn off completely, or it just never turns off. But for those that it turns off slightly, chances are they're coming back, and it will turn back on when you have a major trauma, a near-death experience, or if you just seek out and start listening to spiritual things, because it'll start to shift your thinking to the right side brain and enable that ability to start to open again. The problem is when that ability opens, it's like the floodgates open. We are lights in the dark, and it literally shows the spirits who has abilities and how strong they are. The problem is not all abilities are complete communicative and listening, and it will create other problems, which I'll go into in different videos. So to control spirits and control your natural ability, you really need to take ownership and put rules into your space. So you do that by what I was told from the other side is called white light. You can use this with sage if you have a difficult time doing the actual process I'm about to show you. But if you do use sage, make sure as you're walking around the house and using sage, or your apartment, your living space, that you actually put those same rules and intentions into the sage. So, how to white light? Always come at them at neutral. You never want to come at any spirit with emotion. They will utilize it if it's negative against you, and you have more energy to utilize to frighten you, startle you, touch you, various things. So, take a few deep breaths. I always recommend at least 3, just to calm yourself and bring you back to neutral. Once you're at neutral, visualize warm white light surrounding your entire body. Start at your head and then move down into your feet. It's warm, it's loving, it feels like the sun on your skin. Once you have that feeling around you, you're going to start to move that light away from your body, expanding it into the room that you're currently in or your first living space. As you're moving that light, you can change it to white fog if that's easier. But as you're moving that light away from you is when you're going to put your intentions. What do you need to be healthy and happy from a spiritual perspective? So exact words doesn't have to be. However, always say nothing negative, nothing ill will is allowed to be here, and no one wakes me up. You can add additional rules if you would like to, such as only immediate family and friends. I say immediate because we've had many past lives, especially people with abilities. And so past life people will think that they're immediate family and friends, even though they're not. But that, again, is your choice. If you do that, you'll remove the positive spirits that are in your home that is not a family and friend member. Excuse me. So once you set your rules, and like I said, those 3 are always a must. You want to fill that light in the space that you're currently standing in from corner to corner. Then, in your mind, because you know what your living space looks like, move it through the wall into the next room and do the same thing. Fill that whole room corner to corner with light. If you get to a spot where you know there's a closet or a cabinet or a corner and you cannot in your mind visualize the details of that area, there's something negative in there, and you'll need to throw your power symbol into that spot. A power symbol is what is powerful to you. For me, it is crosses. For my niece, it was me in the corner doing one of these, making mean faces. For people that are Buddhist, it's going to be Buddha. For atheists, people usually tend to use trees because Mother Nature and trees symbolize strength. So it's really whatever you visualize as something that is very powerful to you that gives you strength within your universe. Once you throw that there, it'll knock that negative thing out. Visualize that corner again, cabinet, whatever, wherever you got stuck. Then move on to the next room. You're going to continue this process. You don't have to keep saying your intentions unless you feel like it. You only have to say it when you first start. But you want to do every room, up, down, left, right, however much space, until you get to the corners of your living space. If it's an apartment, it's going to be the foremost points of corners. If it's a house, it's going to be your yard corners. Once you get to those corners, start with one, put your power symbol on. Do the next corner, the next corner, and the next corner until you have a grid of your property or your living space. That power symbol in the corners solidifies what you had just done. In the beginning, you want to do this at least every day for the first 2 weeks because you have to remove, one, the doubt that you may be putting into it and the distraction. And if either one of those two things occur when you're doing the process, start over. Something negative could have easily gotten past you in that distraction or within that doubt. Once that is done, after 2 weeks, then you can go to a monthly cleansing unless you feel like something has occurred or you just don't feel off. Sorry, there's a kitty that decided to wake up in front of me. And just do it whenever you just don't feel like yourself. Until then, you should be fine. And that's how you white light. That's how you white light your space. There'll be other videos out there for your own personal bubble for day-to-day stuff.